Zane and the Hurricane, A Story of Katrina by Rodman Philbrick. Chapter 26. A Big Pile of Stink. Okay, I'll admit to being scared stiff, like my feet are glued to the hot pavement even though I want to run away. When something bad comes your way, something you can't fight, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Run for your life. And Dylan to me is something bad. First time, back there at the cookout, I wasn't sure. He made it sound so tempting, a nice dry place to stay, and TV and games and stuff, but this time, there's no doubt. I get this awful, cold feeling in my guts at the idea of him taking charge of Malvina, and that's clearly what he intends to do. Standing cool on the street like the heat doesn't exist, at least not for him, and ever so casually stroking a thumb along his gold chains, his cool shades reflecting the Superdome. He makes a sign with his left hand, and the music stops, although the Escalade stays running, waiting. "Malvina," he says with a big smile. "Honey, we been looking all over. Your mama worried sick about you." Malvina says, "How you know that?" "Just talked to her," he says, displaying a cell phone. "Had us a long conversation." "You did not?" Sensing trouble, people in the crowd start shuffling off, or backing up, wanting nothing to do with the gold-draped dude with the cool rim SUV. Something is about to go down, and everybody knows it. Toomey grins and saunters closer. For him, all the thousands of survivors in the vicinity of the Superdome might as well not exist. Even me and Mr. True don't exist for him. He's entirely focused on Malvina, the way a cat focuses on a chipmunk that chatters back. "Don't you dare!" Malvina says, raising her voice. "I ain't go with you." Dylan Toomey keeps on coming, taking his time. That's when I notice we've attracted the attention of the National Guard. They react reluctantly, but one of them says something into his walkie-talkie, and then another one nods. The pair of them warily take up new positions, holding rifles at the ready. Not interfering yet, but keeping an eye on the situation. Mr. True says, under his breath, "Tom, you both get running." He's gripping the arms of his chair, ready to launch himself at the man in the gold chains. Malvina sees what's about to happen, steps away from the chair and raises her arms, as if to distract attention from the old man. "Somebody help us!" she screams. Not like she's afraid, more like she's angry. "This man ain't no family to me. He a gangsta, he a thug." Toomey reacts with a smirk, confident that no one will risk interfering. Smiling this fake smile, he reaches out, as if wants to take hold of Malvina and lead her to the safety of his shiny SUV. She ducks under his outstretched hand and screams, "He got a gun! He got a gun!" Everything happens all at once, and it seems like in slow motion, even though it's not. The National Guard dudes react by taking aim and shouting, drop it, and show us your hands, and get on the ground," pretty much all at the same time. Toomey kind of freezes in place, although he's still smiling. I can see, even if the guards can't, that his hands are empty. While all this is going on, my heart doesn't have time for more than one beat. That's how fast everything is happening. Malvina grabs my arms, and somehow I know what she wants me to do, even though she doesn't say anything. Mind melding, my mom calls it. Whatever it is, I know. I put Bandit in Mr. True's lap, and without saying a word, we take hold of the old man's chair and run it along the street, fast as we can, never looking back. Just flying! Mr. True holds on for dear life, bouncing around as the little plastic wheels blast over the pavement. Bandy hunkers down, his ears flat. Behind us, the National Guard dudes are freaking out and screaming at Toomey not to move, or they'll shoot. We're running as fast as we can, and I expect to hear gunshots, but they don't shoot, and nobody tries to stop us getting away either. In fact, people are making room, open up places for us to run, and then closing behind us, either on purpose or by accident. It doesn't matter, so long as we can keep running, shoving their chair over the rough pavement. We're making a pretty good getaway, all things considered, but there's no way we can outrun that Escalade if it wants to catch us. Malvina must be thinking the same thing, because after we go a few blocks out of sight from whatever we left behind, she comes to a stop and goes, "We need a place to hide." A place to hide. Oh yes, that's my urge too. If I could lift up an edge of the sidewalk and burrow into the earth, I would. But there's no place to go, no place to hide. All around us are boarded-up office buildings and a few vacant lots that are blown so bare there's not even a tree to hide behind. Maybe they'll arrest him, I say. Maybe we're safe. I don't believe it, and neither do they. Mr. True goes, that man slippery as a snake. Even if they put cuffs on him, he'll send somebody after us. Zane, can you take that plywood off the windows? I make a quick inspection. No way. Even with a screwdriver, it'd take forever. Okay, she says, taking a deep breath. We keep running. That's when I noticed this huge dumpster alongside one of the office buildings. A nasty green thing overflowing with piles of garbage and trash, spilling out into the street and leaking in all directions. You serious? She asks, her nose wrinkling. It can't smell worse than the Superdome. Oh, but it does. Imagine 1,000 backed-up toilets and 10 tons of fresh, steaming dog dew and 100 dead cats, and all the dirty cat boxes for all the dead cats and every spoiled, rotten thing from every nasty garbage pail in the world. The dumpster stinks worse than that. Way, way worse. It's not like we climb into the dumpster or anything. There's no room inside because it's overflowing, okay? We're only hiding behind it, behind the piles of rotting garbage, gagging on the smell, eyes watering from the overwhelming stench. Even Bandy keeps shaking his head and snorting through his nose like he can't believe a smell this strong. It seems like forever, but really it's only a few minutes later that we hear the boom, boom of the SUV rolling down the street with the sound system blasting, the deafening bass rattling off the buildings and making it twice as loud. Boom, 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 boom. Lose Control by Missy Elliott. Man, I'm starting to hate that song. I peek around the corner of the dumpster. There it is, the gleaming black Escalade with the wicked cool rims and chrome pipes. The Escalade looks like it has muscles of steel and throbbing light. This time, Dylan Toomey doesn't even bother to get out of the car. A black window rolls down. His face hangs in the interior dimness like a shadow of a moon. He smiles, flashing gold. The music stops. Melvina Rollins, he bellows. All right, you a smart girl. Just like your mama. I like that. Stick the guard on me and run off? That was smart. And now you hiding behind that pile of stink? Assuming I don't want to get my new Jordans all dirty? And you right. Got better things to do on this fine morning. Got me a business to run, folks to take care of. Something about what he says strikes him funny because he chuckles and shakes his head in amusement. Then he tips up his shades so we can see his clear, cold eyes staring at us like brown laser beams. I'll be watching you, little girl. Wherever you at, wherever you go, I'll be there. We gonna get together soon, you and me. We gonna be friends, you see. The window sides up, like a cloud siding over the moon, and a moment later he's gone, riding bumba rattle boom out into the ruined city. Chapter 27. Stupid Water. Algiers, Algiers, Mr. True keeps mumbling. Get you over to Algiers. Belinda help us. If you didn't know better, you might think the old man had been drinking because of the way he slurs his words. But the scary fact is, he's not drunk. He's sick. Bad sick. Sick with fever from his foot and ankle, which had turned all purple and swollen up to about twice normal size. We're pushing this chair down the middle of the street, what Malvina calls the neutral ground, with the sun blazing and the heat rising from the pavement, and yet poor Mr. True is shivering. Little Belinda, he mutters to himself, she a good one. Oh, yeah, mighty good. We find her, True. Don't you worry. Everything gonna be okay, Malvina tells him, but the tears streaming down her face tell a different story. Can a person die of a bad foot? I don't know. Maybe if there's no one to take x-rays or give medicine or the normal stuff they do. Or maybe it's that he got infected from the bad water or a snake bit him and we didn't know it. I never felt so stupid or helpless wandering down that street, not knowing where to go or what to do. It gets so bad I almost wish Dill and Toomey would find us, so I wouldn't have to think about anything or make decisions. Malvina says, You take the chair. I go ask where do we go. She stops people in the street, asking where to find a hospital or emergency room. This one skinny dude says, Hospitals, they all backed up or flooded out. But when Malvina insists, he points us in a certain direction. Maybe you find what you need, he says doubtfully, and then he's gone. We follow his directions for a few blocks and come to the edge of the floodwater. From the nasty look of things, it has gone down a little, but the water's still way too deep to push Mr. True along in this wobbly chair. If we had a boat, or a canoe maybe, but we don't. Bandy barks at the stinky water. Come on, boy, leave it alone. He looks at me, and I swear he shakes his head in disgust. That's how bad it is when a dog who slurps from toilets turns up his nose. Back to the big wide street where dazed survivors huddle in the shade, looking stunned. Back to inquire again where we might take a sick old man. Most people just shake their heads or mention someplace north of the city, too far away to make sense. Others say the Superdome, where we've already been and know how bad it is, with too many sick and not enough medical help. Someone else tells us the local hospitals have all been flooded and have their hands full trying to evacuate patients by helicopter. They've been forced up on the roofs, you know. First floor underwater, so they lost power. No electricity, no machines to keep folks alive. Somebody tell me the Red Cross coming, with clinics and nurses and all, but I ain't seen 'em yet. Malvina finally finds a policeman, a black man in a blue uniform, sitting in a broke-down patrol car that won't start. The cop looks about ready to cry, turning the key and nothing happening. He tells her pretty much what the other dude said about the hospitals being flooded and overwhelmed, and that maybe we should take our chances at the Superdome. Same old story. After a few more futile attempts, the cop gives up, leaving the patrol car with the windows down and the doors unlocked. He walks away from the car and from us. Malvina calls to him, but he doesn't look back. After the cop scurries out of sight, this one guy comes over and hands us a bottle of water. Plenty of fluids, he suggests. Then, taking a closer look at True, he adds, Might better pray. What makes Malvina mad? The suggestion that the old man is so far gone? Never mind what he say, you tough True. You gonna make it. Go on, drink. The bottle drops from his trembling hands, and Malvina kicks it. Stupid water! She shouts, and people shy away from us, sensing trouble. Hey, I say. She jumps in the bottle with both feet crushing it. Stupid! 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 After she settles down, I go. So what do you want to do? She wipes her eyes. Only thing left, she says. Go to Algiers, like you want. How do we get there? I ask. I don't know, she says. But I'm pretty sure we have to cross the river. When we ask which way to the river, everybody points in the same direction.